Right. Okay. That should have worked. Keyword should have. Right, let's try that again. Let's see. Is it all up and running? It had better fucking be this time. Was that someone disconnecting or what?
No, that was the people joining the video.
Oh, right. That's what sound does. I'm sorry about me and technical fucking difficulties, as per fucking usual, this brick of a laptop. Alright, yeah, we are fucking live again. Thankfully.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you check the YouTubes, we are live again. Anyway, onto the we did manage to finish the first one, thankfully. So onto the next one. World's top climate scientists told to cover up the fact that Earth's temperature hasn't risen for the last 15 years. So all of that, the science is settled. All of the world's going to end. We need to worry about the great climate. All of that is absolute. It's not gone up for 15 years. And this will be an interesting one. But I can actually say something that I actually want to kind of say to Carl in the video comments that I actually know from horticulture that you guys
God.
may not have heard this before, right? In organic farming, there are two types of organic farming. There's organic farming, and then there's religious organic farming. And Shadow's probably looking at this like, oh no. It's like, yeah, it is that kind of religion. Um, to make the long story short, in religious organic farming, there is quite literally a cult-ish religion about how humanity is the fallen angel from the paradise that is like Earth that's untainted by human touch, and because of humanity's poisonous actions, the sun went from a loving, kind god to a dark, evil god that wants us to die horrible, painful deaths. And the only way to stop this is to appease the dark, evil god that is the sun by making everything go green and then fixing the climate, even if it costs a lot of lives. The idea behind this is basically just the train situation. Kill like a few people so that the rest can be saved type mentality. So instead of 100% of the human population dies off, 90% dies off. And it's like, there, we saved humanity. It's like, unironically, this is a genuine fucking cult religion. There are some people who are
I mean,
genuinely like that with organic farming. I'm not fucking with you. It's genuinely real.
let's be honest.
Yes.
Who's going to listen to the United Nations for moral advice? I mean, what do they know about the cultural impact of Celtic peoples in Britain?
They don't. But don't you understand that we need to think about the sun god? Uh, it's so dumb. It's so fucking dumb.
That's my point. For some reason, these unelected bureaucrats have more power to change my life than I have.
You just need to do better, mate. But
Potentially, yeah.
before I read
But
on with
then
this, how dumb does what I just told you guys sound?
that's expected. I mean, the United Nations need to keep the whole uh, global warming thing going, don't they?
I
I mean,
mean,
it's a big boom business now.
and the thing is I'm not necessarily saying for sure that Klaus Schwab and the others are followers of that religion, but what I am saying is it would make perfect sense.
No, no, they don't follow any religion. It's not religion they follow. It's an ideology. It's just simple as they want control. I mean, fucking Germans are at it again.
Every time those Germans, it's not like the song Rasputin, where at the end it goes, "Oh, those Russians." It's just they're like, "Oh, those Germans," every fucking time.
Yeah. First it was World War One, then it was
Well,
World
if
War
it's not
Two.
the Germans, then it's the
French.
no, not the French.
The French never did anything right in history. That's where I'm going with it. That's my opinion on the French.
Yeah.
100 years wasn't enough.
No. It's like the saying goes that 2 nukes wasn't enough for Japan, 100 years wasn't enough for the French.
Hmm. I mean, we
What, the
wouldn't have
100-Year
left
War? It
much-
wasn't 100 years. It was like 130 years or something.
Well, 130 fucking years wasn't enough then.
But it's still called the 100-Year War.
It still wasn't long enough
Yeah,
then.
okay.
You get to like 50 years and you just kind of go, what the fuck is this fight all about anyway? Everybody who was fighting to begin with is all dead.
Mm.
That's when you drop your guard and then the shit hits the fan. And, you should never drop your guard on stuff like this.
Not dropping your guard is just thinking like, you're fighting over what at that point?
Over the job that you need to finish, because if you don't, then the French come back. You can probably
The
hear that,
French have
can't
been
you?
back for a while.
It might take them time,
Well,
but they
let's be
still come
honest.
back.
Well, they've got London.
Oh god, they've got London.
They have part of London.
Oh,
I mean, London is
London is a French European city. Fuck London.
agreed.
it's a multicultural city, which is why
I
it's so
felt
fucking.
I felt
I said
dirty
European.
when I was near London earlier on when I was visiting you guys. Get me out of there as quickly as possible.
Oh no, we know it near London.
It's closer to London than to Manchester, we'll put it that way.
Yeah, but Manchester's more like London, and you're closer to it than where our position was located. You'd feel more dirty in your own home by that sort of logic of the motion. Wasn't Manchester like the
Hi, Granite.
got some culture award or some shit years ago? And it was just like, oh my god, no, it's just not cultural. It's just a mix of all the cultures from all over the place into this weird thing that everybody just like, "Oh, look, we walk down the street and see 10 cultures, and then they will try and stab each other."
They always try to stab each other. It just doesn't work out. Oh, by the way, actually, before I forget, I thought I'd just tell you guys something. At the end of this episode, if you guys are never seen it, we'll watch the series Invincible together, just for shits and giggles. If
What's
not,
Invincible?
basically just
Is that an anime?
no,
Okay.
it's basically a new sort of non-woke like comic book series turned into an animation. God forbid a non-woke comic book. Good God forbid.
So it's anime.
No, it's not anime. Like the joke that I'm making is everything's gone woke, and then this beautiful gem arrives that's not woke propaganda.
Hmm.
No, I'm
We'll
serious.
see.
That being said, though, is they actually did admittedly, like, hear me out here when I say this. They did actually change the race of some of the characters, but they changed the angry white woman character from white to black. So they ended up. Yes.
Angry black woman.
Yes, they turned.
Racist trope.
They turned Amber into an angry black woman stereotype. I fucking knew you'd like hearing that.
Was she ginger?
I think she was. Yeah, ginger. Yeah.
Oh, it's always the gingers that get turned black. Because ginger is an anagram of you know what. I'm gonna open the window actually because Granite's right. It is really warm in this room now. Fuck's sake. It's really warm everywhere. Speaking of which,
I'll open the window and it'll
Literally
just get
been
hotter.
dying.
That's what it'll be. Right, I'll open the window and it'll just get warmer in this room.
Yeah, because you're blowing all the hot air in.
Before I do that, I'll leaked United Nations report reveals the world's temperature hasn't risen for 15 years. Politicians have raised concerns about the final draft. Fears that findings will encourage deniers of man-made climate change. Yeah, because
People who read the science,
it's like,
the actual science, not the science, just like the actual papers that are out there going, well, this has seemed like a bit of a flat line for a while.
oh no, the people will start to think that it's not just continuously going up. And I actually listened to part of Carl's recent live stream yesterday, and he mentioned how the like essentially there was this red alert like for heat going on the news, and then he brought up like a heat wave warning from 10 years ago, and the 10 years ago version was hotter, and they didn't colour all of England completely black red with blood to signify how dangerous it was. It was just like, oh yeah, it's just a heat wave. Drink lots of water, put on plenty of sun cream. It's a bit hot, but you'll be fine.
Yeah, but
He
now
could even
fear
suggest that they
fear is
had a sort
more
of.
useful these days.
I didn't catch that, Vulcan. Could you say it again so I can hear what both of you said?
You could even
Fear is
suggest
more
that
useful
they
these days.
understated
I said, could
the
Vulcan? Could I hear what
circumstance.
Vulcan said?
Yeah, but you wanted to hear both of us,
I
so
already
that's
heard
why.
what you said. So it's like
Oh,
I heard what
Shadow.
you said, and
Why
then
do you love me so?
I want to hear what both of you said, not just what you said, Shadow.
Well, I'll say it again then when Vulcan says it for both of us.
No, I've already heard what
You
you
keep
said.
saying I want to hear what both of you said, so I'll say it again
Fuck's sake.
with both of us.
You don't want it.
Okay, be a cunt then.
Right. So I find it funny that the cultural tradition of British people understating things seemingly has disappeared, almost as if our culture has been attacked for the last 50 years or more, much more. And this is just an example of it. It's like, oh, hot temperatures, drink plenty of water, have fun, whatnot. And now it's like, hot temperatures, lock yourself in your house.
I mean, do I need to go over
Cold
my
showers.
my idea of the ego death of culture again, because it just fucking fits every time?
I don't even necessarily think it's an ego death of culture. I mean, let me put it this way, right? So
Yeah.
if London is a captured city, if it's no longer British, and London is a black hole for criminal activity, then the people in London who don't want to, who like the London culture, if you could call it that, but don't want the crime rates, well, they're going to move away. So even though London is not a British city, it has a massive impact on the rest of the country because those people are inevitably going to move out to the
You need to take the M25 and turn it on its side and turn it into a wall.
based. Yeah.
Just people trying to leave, just hit a sheer fucking wall, just die.
I mean, fuck.
Basically.
Honestly, wall it off and just level the whole fucking thing. Level it all. Take pictures of all the buildings.
The Ukraine is the start of the Ukraine shit. They were showing us maps of London getting hit by a nuke, and it was like, oh, that kind of gets rid of London, and these areas in Greater London, that's not so bad.
Oh, actually, that reminds me. You guys might find this like
What's
I've
the
not
downside?
spoken to him about politics for obvious reasons, because it would just get awkward from there. But there's actually a Ukraine lad who's recently joined my work. And he may or
Okay.
may not be a refugee. I've just not brought it up in conversation just because, it could get awkward. And I decided to say fuck
He
it.
might be. He might have like a Russian He might have a Russian babushka, and it's just like, yes, the Russians will create the Ukraine is part of Mother Russia.
So here's a little snippet. The last place I worked, there was a Polish guy, and
Yeah.
he was constantly saying the Ukrainian war was fucking bullshit and they deserved to lose. A Polish guy. One of the other things he said was that somehow one of the government officials' wives turned up at the border in a mint BMW, Mercedes, or whatnot fucking car, really nice car, with 3 suitcases full of money. He's like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
But he was saying that the Ukraine area is just corrupt. It's all corrupt. All this money that's being plowed into it, what are they going to fucking spend it on?
Why do you think Biden's so wound up in it? With Hunter and all the stuff with that oil company.
Yeah.
And Trump's vocal that they tried to impeach him for.
Yeah. So I had a different thought about this.
Go on.
And it stems from me reading the Gulag Archipelago. Now, when you read it, you realize that the corruption of the Soviet people reached far beyond just the higher ups. It literally reached down to every man and his dog.
It becomes a way of life. Everybody's corrupt, so you just have to go with the corruption and make your own way through the corruption by being corrupt.
Absolutely. However, unlike with Germany, where they had the Nuremberg trials, Russia never dealt with that. They never turned around and went, well, this corruption is what obviously made us do all these bad things, and we should nip that in the bud. It was allowed to continue. Like Stalin just disappeared. Pretty much. I think he died, didn't he? Something like that.
Yeah, he died of odd circumstances. It's a whole interesting story in and of itself.
But I mean, can you think of any trial of the Soviet officials that was conducted?
No.
Nope.
That's really what I mean. That there was no central focal point in the Russian society that said this corruption.
They had a whole thing of like never again with this stuff with some of the attitudes that followed after Stalin, but they still carried on with like the KGB doing all hush like secretly hush stuff, spying on everybody all the time and everything.
Yeah. But you got to bear in mind, I'm saying this because Ukraine is a former Soviet bloc. So it's going to be corrupt. You can't get away from it. I mean, it's probably why Biden fucking moved over there.
God damn it, it's too fucking warm.
There is the side point, which is I think they're using Russia as smoke and mirrors for China. Because I think the whole world is very much aware of how dependent they are on China, and they're trying to destroy them in some way. Which, ironically, Hong Kong seems to be of, if you wish, 100 years in the making of Chinese destruction because of the British tradition that's evolved in Hong Kong has now been introduced to all the Chinese people. I find that quite interesting. Sorry, was that really boring?
I wouldn't say necessarily boring, but it would make sense, I reckon.
Yeah.
Vulcan's boring.
That too.
Alright, okay. There's my mouse. Scientists working on the most authoritative study on climate change were urged to cover up the fact the world's temperature hasn't risen for the last 15 years, it is claimed. It's like, so then you're not following science. End of discussion. Moving on. Well, next topic, please. A leaked copy of the United Nations report compiled by hundreds of scientists shows politicians in Belgium, Germany, Hungary, and United States raise concerns about the final draft. It's like, well, then your predictions and models and all this shit. Oh, think positive is here. Hi, think positive, and all these models and shit about how the universe was going to end in insert year here. They were wrong. Stop fearmongering. Move on. We can go back to being sensible now.
No, it's not that. No. You got to follow the money. At the end of the day, these people are in it for the money.
They're in it for
So
retardation.
if this study comes out and says that, in fact, the Earth isn't warming up and global warming is complete fucking bollocks, all the wind turbines, all the solar panels, all the electric cars, like, you fucking name it, all these green bags, all the fucking, um, ah,
I mean, you say that they're in it for the money, but I don't see many profits happening.
yeah, let's start off the person that manufactures wind turbines that don't actually produce what you said they're going to produce.
Mm.
I mean, seriously, the profit isn't in the effectiveness of these systems. It's in the fact that these are government stipends that are just given out to, in a sense, friends and family. So they're essentially taking our tax money and giving it to their friends to provide a service they know is not going to work. I guarantee you, in like 30 or 40 years, we'll end up taking down all these wind farms because it's all fucking bullshit.
I mean, it, it's all that whole if we spend this money now and print money now, we won't have to worry about it until like 20 years later. It's like we'll just borrow money off of ourselves in the future until the problem just stops. It's like that's not how this works. That is how this works. Don't worry about it. It's like no, that's not how any of this works. It's like shut up, stop thinking. Fuck's sake. That's how this goes every time without fail.
I mean, there's certain aspects of the whole, global warming thing, which, people could continue without too much problems. It's like the cycle to work scheme, right?
Yeah.
That's actually really good for people. I mean, okay, it's a waste of fucking money. You should maybe get a single bike and you have to cycle it to work for 3 years. That would justify like the 1,500 price uh, loan that you have been given. That would make sense. But there's other things like I really particularly hate these fucking wind turbines, right? Because when I went to Wales and relax out in the countryside, I was on the top of the fucking mountain and all I could hear are these bloody wind turbines whooping around like a fucking dopey bird.
You just gotta suffer and
Yeah.
put up with it, mate.
Well, yeah, yeah.
Just like this now
It's not
forever.
my country anymore. It's like they're turning the green belt into fucking houses. Like,
If
it's
I
all
ever get you
corruption.
guys near where I live, right? There's literally like an area that used to be farmland, just literally outside my fucking door. It's now just paved over, just more fucking houses. It wasn't like that. Uh, not even 10 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. It's fucking bad.
Fucking hate it.
Um, well, I used to live up in Aberdeen, and we had four schools. Uh, Comp, boys, girls, and St. John's. St. John's is a church school, so that was left alone. But Bangor, boys and girls, Comp, they were all merged into a central school. The problem being is that to fit all those pupils into a single building would mean to upgrade one of the sites. They didn't fucking bother doing that. They tore down the sports hall or the community centre, whatnot. They do all your fucking athletic shit. Don't care. And they built a school on top of it. And the funny thing is, that's a floodplain, basically.
Oh, here we
Like
go.
I can remember like multiple times a year, mostly in winter, it just floods. Just floods. Can't do anything about it. It's a fucking floodplain. And they built the school on it. And then all the old schools now, so the girls' can't, which was a lovely building, I have to admit, that was really nice. Proper old fashioned school building. Yeah, anyway. They're all being torn down and houses built on top of them. Because,
Every
fuck
time.
that shit.
Every time. Well, It's every fucking time. Let's see if Think Positive said anything. Oh no, it's just said howdy and nothing else. Every fucking time with these retards. Every time.
Well, I'd like to go back to a conversation that I had with the Bleach team quite a while back now,
Go
in
on.
which um, I think it's accurate to say that we came to the conclusion that there has to be some form of selection bias when it comes to politicians, and that selection bias must be based on the strength of spirit rather than the ability to acquire power. Um, and unfortunately, it does mean that people have to go through, say, like fucking 20, 30 years of suffering in the military, doing the dirtiest, shittest job possible.
What's the war of the Paris? Parrots.
I saw it on the memes and I wanted to put it on the podcast, so we'll get to that. Don't worry.
What was it? I want to see it.
No, we'll get to that. We'll have to get through it then. You'll have to stick with it, won't you?
I want some disjointed stuff. It keeps it interesting.
Alright, fair.
Parrot.
Alright, fine. We'll go over the parrots first, okay? The parrots. Parrots were removed from a UK safari park after teaching each other to say N-word, then laughing about it.
Based parrots.
I can almost
funny.
I can almost picture just someone making a meme in the background, just frantically clicking and typing away. I can hear you doing this, by the way. I know what you're doing, but just the Chad parrot with just the Giga Chad facial expression, and then the crying Wojak femboy like safari park zookeeper having to remove the parrot, just crying about the parrot always just saying the N-word.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I picture this. I'm not gonna. That's how I picture this entirely. Does this look like the face of mercy to you?
It would be very funny if the Jews who taught the parrots. Very funny.
Just the Giga Chad theme. The report is
Yeah.
Go on. Sorry, I was just continue reading. I shouldn't have done that.
No. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll go ahead then. The report is the result of 6 years' work by UN's Intergovernmental Body Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, which is seen as the world authority on extent of climate change and what is causing it, on which governments, including Britain's, base their green policies. So basically, the people who are just there, like, organising every green policy, the people who do their science just say, like, yeah, no, this doesn't work, stop. And they just say, like, but you're not meant to report that. You're meant to report that we're doing the good things. It's you know when like it's people made models, like this is like the climate change equivalent of someone makes a model about what could happen in the coronavirus, and they use all of the bad data for that model, and they like see how bad this is going to be, and then more data comes out. It's like, yes, but this conflicts with my model, therefore no, I'm not going to look at this, and then it's a case of like stuff keeps changing, and they just say like, but my model's not accurate. It's like, maybe if you put the new fucking data into the model, maybe that would just like be like a working fucking result, you retard.
That's literally how science is supposed to work. Is like, new data, change model. But the people don't do it. It's like, you stop saying that's science. That's not science, you fuck.
It's literally, it's like, maybe if we keep doing the same thing, but forever we'll get a different result. It's like, no! Stop it!
It was Einstein who said that was the definition of insanity.
Yes. I'm just
listen to the scientists.
I'm just sat there every time saying, stop! You fucking It's just it's like, maybe if we keep doing the Tony Blair stuff, the problems caused by Tony Blair's policies will just stop. It's like, that's not how this fucking works. That's not how this works. Why am I getting this burning desire to rip heads off at the minute?
That sounds like a you problem.
It would stop them being retarded if they're all dead.
That definitely sounds like a you problem.
Well, it would stop them being retarded.
Yes, but the violent ideas No, no, no,
Maybe,
no,
maybe.
no, 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 no.
Not on YouTube anyway. Susan, I'm referring to only in Minecraft, I promise. But,
Minecraft?
like that's the meme you say in Minecraft means I wouldn't do it for real, it's just a joke. But leaked documents seen by Associated Press yesterday revealed deep concerns among politicians about a lack of global warming over the past few years. It's like, why is
There's
that?
a concern about a lack of it.
Why is that a concern? I'm concerned about the lack of murders on the street right now. It's like, what, why is that a concern? Shut up. Stop
Because we
questioning
won't
me.
have a job.
It's like, I'm sorry, but if I was a police officer and I was told there's a lack of murders that have been going on, I'd be there like, I'm just gonna kick my feet back. Job well done, we're doing something right, boys. It's just like, sir, for the past 10 to 15 years, there's been no global warming. It's like, we've corrected it. The problem is solved. We can kick back and relax. The world is good. We have succeeded in saving the world. Why instead are they fucking concerned?
I think this is a brilliant opportunity to defund the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, because we clearly don't need them anymore. Save us
Agreed.
millions, right?
That or
We did
just
our job.
hire
Fuck
people
off.
who actually understand the shit rather than make it up for some fucking weird agenda.
like
And then
I,
they go,
Oh,
right,
come on,
okay,
that
this
was
will work that way.
But the thing is you know that I'd be able to do a better job with this shit because I'm literally just there. It's like, right, okay, so new data has come in, add that to the model, and they autistically it sounds cringe to say this, but it's really autistic. They're just there like, no, I can't add the new data because the new data's new. It's not the right data. It's like, shut up, get out. Fuck me.
It's not the scientists who are potentially doing a bad job. It's the politicians who are using, in a
Paying the
sense,
scientists to find these particular results.
yeah.
Mm.
So it's like
Which
a
is what they
biased
used to say.
interpretation.
It's the tobacco
If you're
salesman and
looking
the
for
oil.
something, you'll find it.
Back when they used to say the oil industry were paying off all the politicians to hide all the climate data. It's like, well, that's a bit different now, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it is. I mean, I don't deny that they may have paid a few scientists to massage the data, but then again, what kind of powerful business doesn't do that?
I mean, find this information for me that makes me look good. Effectively.
Well, Britain's just gone through a heat wave. I guess it must be warming up.
But effectively,
We
every
get
single
that heat
country.
wave every
I
year.
find this information which makes me look better and in a better light. Thank you very much. That's what you're paid to do. No more questions asked. Thank you very much.
Kind of how that
Or you
works.
could take it another way of, excuse me, what the hell are you doing? I pay your wages. Why are you making me look like a bad man?
Because you are a bad man. That's basically my response.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I love that though. It's just like stabbings are down. It's just really concerning. It's like, why would that be concerning? Just United Nations, just stop it. Stop it. Every time with these retards. Germany called for the references to slow down in warning to be deleted, saying looking at the time span of just 10 or 15 years was misleading and should focus on decades or centuries. So it's misleading because we're getting data we don't like. And so, we should change the time frame instead so it looks better. And it looks like we're right more. It's like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. All the way down is basically just my response to this. Hungary worried the report would provide ammunition for deniers of man-made climate change. Well, that's because we're fucking right. And it's not that I don't deny the fact that there is a such thing as a climate change, because there's this weird thing called the seasons. The climate is constantly changing. And I remember a time when it was called global cooling, and then it was called global warming, and then because they realised that they lost the debate on both those occasions, they just said, fuck it, we'll call it global climate change. Then, by definition, we're always correct because the climate's always changing. Therefore, no one can say that we're wrong ever again. It's like, shut the fuck up and go home. If that's the way that you have to win debates, by changing your definitions constantly, you have fucking lost, good sir. You have lost. Belgium objected to using 1998 as a starting year for strategies, as it was exceptionally warm and makes the graph look flat, and suggested using 1999 or 2000 instead to give a more upward pointing curve. So literally, it's just, if we just move the goalpost, we'll always be correct at this time of the year. It's like, shut the fuck up. Is basically my response to this. Shut the actual fuck up. It's like, oh, if we use this year, it doesn't make us look too good. So we'll just use a different starting year instead. These absolute twats. Oh, Shadow's gone. No wonder everything went quiet. Well, I guess
was just listening.
Oh no, I'm just saying, like, okay, so I guess I'll have to keep this show going by the two of us, I guess. But I hope Shadow's having fun wherever he's at.
This is just fucking weird as shit.
What?
So you remember, like, 2006, Carl Benjamin, Sargon taking the piss out of Anita Sarkeesian, right?
I vaguely remember, but it's so a long time ago.
Yeah. So the thought just occurred to me, what the hell is she doing now?
Not existing, thankfully. I don't know.
No. So since 2009, she's been executive director at Feminist Frequency.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah.
Why don't you just go away?
Yeah. Six-figure crowdfunding campaigns and multi-year corporate pledges. Oh, lovely.
Why won't you just go away?
Yeah, but I was reading through her portfolio, and it is fucking creepy as shit. It's literally called AnitaSarkeesian.com. She's got fucking books, 9 tips for designing better female characters in video games. Fuck off. Who would listen to this girl?
Apparently idiots.
Yeah. I use the girl purposefully because I don't think she is a woman.
Based.
You don't grow up and just hate men.
Apparently it does. And
well. But then again, you've also got to bear in mind is she's got to keep the grift going now. Like, she can't just back away. Unless she does like a full 360.
Could you imagine just Anita Sarkeesian comes out as, like, tries to come out as based? I don't think many people would let her get away with that. You'd just be like, no. You're not allowed to do this now. Go away.
I mean, I genuinely don't know what people would do. I mean, a part of me would turn around and be like, nah, she's fucking lying. Wait for it. just wait the first 6 months. She'll get bored and come back out as a feminist.
Howdy ho.
God.
Oh, is someone just joined?
No, it's just interesting to see where the relics of the day have been.
It's Think Positive. Hello there, Think Positive. How are you doing?
Mostly fine. But I think we on the whole Sarkeesian thing, I would hope that we've just learned better. That we just can't trust these people on principle. It's like some are just too deep. And even then, before they get a path to redemption, they need a path of punishment that they could take.
Ah, well,
Because
the German is showing, of course.
yes, I'm
German?
neutral. I admit it.
Are we referring to a train station for their punishment or something?
No. No. Sadly, they're not on time anymore, so. So, at the end of the day, I always want something reliable. And sadly, privatization didn't work in that case. But there's actually I wish there would be a English equivalent, but there's this data mining guy around that made like a 2-hour presentation on him simply collecting data on what the German trainway association has done in order to present itself as on time. For example, when they figure out, okay, this train is already pretty late, but if we stop that train and say, okay, it's been cancelled, he can't be late for all the continuing stations. Doesn't that look better in the books? After all, not coming forever looks better on the books than coming 10 minutes late.
I mean, I guess, but that's kind of a weird way of putting it. But sure, I mean, there is one way of putting it. Ow. Oh god, why the fuck is my ear hurting? I hope I don't have a fucking ear infection. That'd be really annoying.
Right back on topic, I think I've derailed it already.
The United States Declaration even weighed in, urging the authors of the report to explain away the lack of warming using leading hypothesis among scientists, that the lower warming is down to more heat being absorbed by ocean, which has gotten hotter. So it's like, but the land temperature, which is where we grow our shit, has stayed the fucking same then, right? So shut the fuck up. Oh god, my fucking ear. The report was published in 2007 and has been the subject of huge controversy after it had to correct the embarrassing claim that the Himalayas would melt by 2035, sorry. Have you seen like the fucking things where it's like, oh, don't you know Mount Everest will have no more snow by like 2010, and then it shows like 2015 and it's got twice as much fucking snow. It's like, shut up. You idiots don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Ever.
There's a nice little quote from a German comedian, Dieter Nuhr, that has been asked on the whole climate crisis debate. It was like, okay, thing is, I think I've been promised the end of the world about 3 or even 4 times, and I'm still waiting on it. And surprisingly, all the times, I miraculously survived it. So now I'm a bit calm about the whole situation.
It was then in goal. Oh, hello. This is longer than I was expecting. So I'm actually not going. Considering how late I actually started this, I won't read through the whole fucking thing just because they started a lot later than expected. But I will go over like key fucking notes as a result, because we do have other shit to actually go through. Oh god, that one's going to be cringe. This one's going to be interesting. Oh, that one's going to be bad. I hope everyone's ready to just have the force-fed black pills on that one. Actually, what's this one? Pink news. That's not a good sign. Teddy authorities sees rainbow. Oh, well, that'll be kind of fun. Oh, that'll be fun as well. And okay, yeah, sure. There we go. I just had to quickly click through because I forgot what actually I had as like news things to go off of. The last report, which runs to 2,000 pages, will be shown to 2,000 pages. And the 195 countries are meeting in Stockholm, so who's to bet they don't republish any of this on the news? That's my prediction right there. What do you guys think?
I think that a lot of data can be hidden in 2,000 pages of words.
Oh, this like a situation like with different laws that are made in the US. They're just wheelbarrowed into the court because it's like pages and pages and pages and pages, and it's like, what the fuck is this? I'm of the opinion that if you can't read something in 5 minutes, it should be thrown out. With stuff like that.
I'm of the opinion.
Bring that to a
that,
politician.
Yeah, I'm on the opinion that every law passed should be written in plain, honest English words.
Agreed.
It's like, because otherwise, how are you meant to follow the law if you
Everybody
can't
that gets
fucking
vote
follow
has to
it?
be present for the whole thing.
Wait.
It has to be written by. It has to be read by one person without interruption in the entirety in the place that it gets voted on, and everybody that wants to vote on it has to be present for the whole reading.
Oh, I like that. That's juicy.
So
I
if you
like that.
just simply have something that has a reading time of 3 days, that person has to be staying awake for 3 days. And everybody has to be present.
That's not as good as an idea as you think it is, because then you'll have people just passing out mid fucking debate, or their fucking their state of consciousness will just like break down.
They're right to vote for it.
Like people won't be as conscious as they normally are.
People collapse on the way to the vote. Well, you don't have enough people that have a right to vote for it, therefore it fails.
I do actually like this mentality, but I can't help but feel that there's just going to be a bunch of dead bodies that don't get to vote on this shit.
Hey, is that a bad thing?
Politicians. I don't see the problem.
It's just corpses.
Happens in Minecraft.
Just a bunch of fucking corpses. With this said, with Smart Idiot and also what's his name? Shadow not being here. Do you think we should? Because this one we get where this is going. It's just going to be. Oh, actually, that's the end of it. Oh, okay. Never mind then. I can like skim that. Although where was I? Shit. I forgot where I was. The draft report, which is not new research, but is a synthesis of all the work being done by scientists around the world, is likely to be highly disputed at the 3-day meeting. Oh, so they're actually doing your idea if you have to... It takes 3 days. Just doing his idea, it's brilliant. Extremely
Not
likely
quite. This will be a sort of a 3-day whine and complain session where they walk up to the scientists and be like, your data disproves all of everything that we've thought. It's like, yes. No problem. I'm going to lose money over this.
And
change it.
You want me to to change the fucking planet just to prove that you're not wrong? Is what that comes down to. It's like which I kind of find funny. I'm not gonna lie. They want people to change the entire fucking like solar system and shit just to make sure it's like, oh yeah, see, I was right about how the planet works. It's like, are you insane? Are you fucking absolutely insane? And of course the answer is yes, they are. But there is that. Anne Frank, she had white privilege Twitter debate. Right, so we're going to find some interesting levels of retardation right here. Are you ready? The distinct silence
I'm ready.
is where. Oh, there's another thing that's been put on the news link for podcasts. Oh, hello. Let me read that. Let me get that open. Considering it was yours, Vulcan,
Yeah.
and you're still here. So he finds that teens on birth control pill report more crying, sleeping, and okay, that'll be interesting actually. Considering something I got up as a meme, that'll actually be interesting. And I honestly think the end result of that is just stop fucking taking like birth control pills because it's putting estrogen in the water, and use condoms, or God forbid, and really hear me out on this, just wait until marriage. Oh, but life is hard, and it's hard to find a decent marriage partner now and settle down and get a house that will work harder then.
But it increases your
No.
chance to keep that
I mean-
marriage partner by infinite amounts.
Oh yes.
It's crazy.
It's like, oh, but it's really hard
So-
to actually like set up to have a family. It's like, well, I'm sorry that like there's been a massive cultural collapse because the fucking communists working like 50 fucking years or shit. And I'm really sorry that it's like raising a family is easier when you have grandparents who, when you're tired, will take over for you. But we're gonna have to like essentially reset to get back to that point. So this is gonna be like the generation where people can't fall back on their grandparents to help them, and then not essentially our kids are going to have to be the ones that fall back on us as the grandparents who are really tired and just want to fucking rest. Because a bunch of people decided rather than plant a tree under which shade they'll never sit under, they saw this tree that provided this nice amount of shade and they thought, yeah, but I want to cut that down and turn it into a nice lawn chair. So there's all these trees that have been cut down, and it's time to fucking plant the new fucking trees. And it's going to be unpleasant for a long time, but we're going to have to reset it back to where there were nice trees to sit under. And that's not going to be easy, but it's going to have to be done.
I mean, it's gonna get done anyway, regardless of what's gonna happen. Because as we all know, history certainly does rhyme.
Hmm.
And so I keep trying to talk to older people about the fact that everything's too easy. There's no danger. They let their guns away, let go of their guns, all of this shit. And there was a particularly old gentleman, I think he's around about 60, 65, whatnot. And I was having a conversation with him about gun rights. And he was like, no, I don't think the idiot on the street should have gun rights. And it's the same thing. As in, these people have lived in absolute safety with no concern whatsoever of their own safety. And in a sense, they've model-coddled all of their children who then brought up kids without knowing the faintest idea of what it means to suffer. Now, how this relates to the birth control pill.
Oh,
Is
we'll get to that. It's just I was just making like a little tangent as I always fucking do, where I'm just sat there like it's a case of like the answer is to go back to the way things were before, and you then get the retards who come along. It's like, oh, you can't reset and go back, because then people will just redo the thing that we did before that was the original mistake. It's like, no, you just learn from the mistake and don't redo it. It's like, but that means admitting we're wrong. It's like, yeah, yes, it does. That's the point.
They have two choices. They either admit they're wrong or they die.
Yeah, I'm fucking sorry, but it's eventually going to come down to, well, our entire civilization can collapse as everything just rots away and we all die, or we can admit that people were wrong in the past. So I'm fucking sorry, but one of these is going to have to happen.
Yeah, that's how societies develop and evolve. Which is an interesting thought, because it might be that society's next development is to, in fact, say no to birth control.
Well,
'Cause, I mean, I won't have a girlfriend who's on birth control. That's my personal choice.
all I'm going to say on that note is, be ready, Francesca. Okay, I'm going to regret that later on when she sees this podcast. I'm gonna regret that later. What was that?
I can just imagine you running around with 7 kids, like.
I have said to her multiple times. It's like, look, I want to have a large family, and it's like, at least 4. And then it's a case of, all right, we're too old now to have kids. I want to adopt now. I want to have even more kids because I don't want my children to be lonely like I was when I was a kid. And so basically, it's just a case of, right, I think I've hit the replacement numbers. You're fucking welcome. Moving on. It's just effectively my mind on the matter.
I like the sound of that.
But Anne Frank, do you think she has white privilege?
She's a Jew, of course she does.
Well, welcome to Twitter retardation. Twitter is yet again proving it's the worst for bulk of bad takes. This time, debating whether Anne Frank, who was hunted and killed by Nazis, had white privilege while alive.
Definitely white privilege, you know what I mean?
Humanity was a
It's only
mistake.
white
I
people
find
that-
myself ever always taking the God's position in Record of Ragnarok and just saying, fuck it, wipe the slate clean. No, joking around aside. You might have noticed the late Holocaust victim was trending Saturday, but finding out why is disheartening. Some, it seems, have floated an argument that Anne Frank benefited from white privilege in Nazi fucking Germany. An argument that is rightly being shot down left and right. Well, I don't know about it being shot down on the left, I'll put it that way.
What choice of words, I guess?
Obviously this happened. What else are they going to do? They can't do anything else. They have committed to repressive tolerance. The pre-censorship
can't do it.
must happen in every and all cases. I'm not even
And so
surprised
the
by
left
this.
became anti-Semitic.
Amused, yes, but surprised? No.
No.
Oh, here we go. It's unclear how this toxic discourse first started. I'll tell you how. It's because Twitter. You're welcome. But it seems to stem from a warped notion that Jews have benefited of their skin color to go unnoticed in public, if only temporarily, lurking that bleak time in history. It's like, no, I'm sorry, but you can tell a Jew from a non-Jew if they're like heavily Jew because clothing, because the hairstyles. So it's not the skin color that you can see it with, but you can see a difference when they're heavily Jewish. We'll put it that way. While non-white historically haven't been able to do so. It's like I'm not saying POC what it stands for simply because it's no different from the racist terminology that's been used in history, and I'm not playing by their language. I'm not fucking doing it. The theory is so twisted, and yet it's been defended by a select few of retards, despite a vast majority of folks swooping in to bat down the rhetoric by noting that the Jews were in fact seen and treated as an inferior race in an ethnic state, and that Anne Frank was murdered specifically because she was Jewish, plus she was in hiding. It's like, yeah, welcome to retard land. This is what the retards of Twitter are like. Deal with it.
It's the left for you.
It is the left for me, but I honestly want to ask, does the German have any response to say about these absolute fucking complete brain-dead drooling retards?
No. They're entirely logically consistent, and they have committed to this.
They've committed
instead of being committed to the truth.
I love how that's the take on this, is they're committed to just being idiots. There's only really one way of this.
I am not surprised by this stuff anymore.
In a weird way, I kind of am, because I'm always just sat there. It's like they can't go more stupid than this. They can't go more stupid than that, and I'm always proven wrong Vowed to fail.
What can I say? The Germans have a bad tendency towards absolutes. I can see this shit coming. The trick is to stop at some point, and they're unable to. They have unlearned that.
It's so stupid. As someone wisely put it, Anne Frank didn't have white privilege. You want to know why? Jewish people weren't included when the white nationalists defined the perfect Aryan race. It's like, if I may, I'm just going to have a sort of like a just a little side tangent for any Americans. Hi, Francesca, who watch this podcast. Hi, Francesca, who tells me that she watches every episode. Which is why I'm gonna get told off later for a comment I made earlier. But beside the point. Oh, hello, Grandad. Okay. So food is apparently ready. What's it called? But when she watches this, Germans weren't, and feel free to correct me here, think positive. Germans weren't white supremacists; they were German supremacists, very specifically, because Europe didn't really have the concept of white people. That's very much an American idea.
I'd say broadly that's correct. But at the end of the day, it was whatever the propaganda ministerium deemed most profitable.
Yeah,
But I say broadly, it's probably correct.
It's very much though a difference of American and European cultures, because America, it's just a case of, oh yes, we're all one group. In Europe, we fucking hate each other. Because that's my land that you're on right there, and you need to give it back.
Can confirm.
It's
confirm.
That's every single European country's relation.
There is one people that I might actually have something that approaches actual racism. It's not the brown people. It's a country very close to mine that is genetically basically the same.
But they need to learn their place, I'm gonna guess you're gonna tell me?
They need to stop eating frogs and have sex in the streets.
Yeah. Yep.
Basically.
I mean,
there's something wrong with them French.
I'm all for going down to war with friends. Like, let's be honest. We all kind of need something to, just get the manly spirit out again. Nothing like beating up a fag. Sorry, a Frenchman.
God damn it. Yes.
But yeah, it's just like it's stupid.
It is completely stupid.
And you gotta bear in mind, these people, and us to a certain degree, we're so polarized from each other and to a point from the normal public that if we were to return to peaceful circumstances, could either side reasonably be expected to integrate within a society that they find hostile to themselves?
Probably not.
I don't see a road to it.
Whoopi
Sadly,
Goldberg.
I
Whoopi Goldberg had a take on this. That'll be interesting.
I've
Jesus
unlearned
Christ.
that. That might be a mistake of mine, but I've unlearned how to interact with normies.
You've learned how to interact with normies. What?
I've unlearned it. I don't know how that
Unlearned it?
works anymore. We speak a different language.
Yeah. That might be why everyone avoids me. Jesus. I'm kidding, of course. I can have basic conversations with them, but anything of a deeper subject, usually just it ends up with them not understanding the principles in which I'm trying to convey.
Whoopi Goldberg on The View this year, she likened the Holocaust to a group of white people against another, and not wanting to conflate the plight of African Americans. It's like, well, unironically, she is right that African Americans had nothing to fucking do with the Holocaust. Like, I'm fucking sorry, but get your stinky fucking understanding of just. Okay, Granddad. Get your understanding of racial history and racial tensions out of Europe, because you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Get out and stay out. That's honestly my take on this. Like, she could be the most wrong, retarded person in all of the universe, but she's right on this. This is the one time that she's fucking correct.
I
Okay,
lost faith in Whoopi Goldberg a long time ago. I mean, Sister Act was alright, but,
alright, has anyone actually mentioned... No, nothing, no one else has made any comments on the thing. Alright, moving on to the next one. Ooh, this'll be bad. Have you taken your black pills yet? Because you're going to, if nothing else.
Oh, this is the one where they censored out the screams of little kids dying, right?
Yep. Let's press play. Oh, here we go.
It's the video the families of the Uvalde victims have been fighting to see. Showing for the first time the horror which unfolded inside Robb Elementary School. Here, 18-year-old gunman Salvador Ramos strolls down the hallway. He walks towards the classroom where he will murder 19 children and 2 teachers. A young boy comes round the corner. He survives, scarred like so many by what he saw.
Honestly, that kid's really brave when you think about it. A brave kid.
2.5 minutes later, the first police officers arrive. 2 approach the classroom, but soon retreat.
You fucking coward! Oh my god!
They're joined by several more, carrying guns, wearing body armour, even ballistic shields.
Oh my fucking god, look at all of this. Right, at this
Ballistic
point...
shields.
Yes, like, at this point...
Like, do you not know how a fucking ballistic shield works?
At this point, like, I'm fucking sorry, but you wouldn't even need guns. It's just take the ballistic shield and just fucking walk at them. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, the whole Batman shit, just do it. Just walk at them until they run out of bullets. When you've got a ballistic... Like, I know that ballistic shields eventually fail, but for how much shit they can take, you could just walk at this fucker. All of them could do this, and they're just there like, but we need to wait for more backup. It's like, no, you fucking don't. Go in there and kill him. Kill him!
Their training makes it clear they should confront the threat immediately. But in the absence of any apparent effective leadership, they don't.
All of this. How many of them are
56 minutes into the murderous rampage, another officer stops to get hand
fuck is this?
sanitizer.
What the fuck? What the fuck? Why is he sanitizing his hands? What the hell is this bullshit?
Fucking bullshit, man.
What the fuck am I
Like,
looking?
these are police officers. They're paid to put their lives on the line. If they're not prepared to do it, they should fucking quit.
It's like, Zen-chan, you know how you told me if you watch this podcast? Zen-chan, you know how you told me you want to move to America and become a police officer? I'll shoot you myself if you ever do anything like this. You better disobey your fucking orders, mate, if they order you to do this shit. I'll shoot you myself. I'm serious, I would fucking actually shoot him myself just to make sure that he's punished for following his orders. It's like, I'd do it.
It's another 20 minutes
Are
before
you
they
fucking
finally
serious?
enter the
There's a
classroom
whole
and kill
army
the
of them
gunman.
now.
For bereaved families, the video confirms an excruciating and deeply infuriating timeline.
How many more kids have to die? How many before people start standing up? You think that, oh, this doesn't happen to me or doesn't happen here or anything until it does. And it will. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And we have to do something to get to stop these kids dying.
With every new detail about this shooting,
You
a
fucking
community
bastard, you
forced
shoot
to
the bastard.
relive its darkest day, and to the crisis response team demands that their mistakes be acknowledged Martha Kellner, Sky News.
That was not a mistake. That was an abandonment of duty. They
Yes.
had their duty to the children that they just blatantly ignored. Like, oh, I could get shot.
Good. Die on the line of duty.
I have a hot take.
Go
I have
on.
a hot take.
Go on.
As a German, I want all of my reparations back. All of them. All of them. The Nuremberg trials, if this is okay, had absolutely no purpose. Because if anything, the lesson of the Nuremberg trials is that just following orders doesn't count as an excuse anymore.
Wow, yeah. To the average person, that is true.
Nuremberg trials have to mean anything, it's that.
I mean, look at Canada, right? All those truckers. Do you think they would ever had their jobs and their families and their lives back if they followed orders? No. It's a system of total destruction. I've seen it everywhere. Even in my personal jobs. Like, you don't follow
The one exception where I don't like punishing people for following orders, and just hear me out on this, because like there is a nuance to this, is if you get killed for disobeying orders, then you don't really have much of a choice, or if your family gets killed for you disobeying. But even then, eventually you do have to make the right decision, kind of thing. It's like like I said last time, the difference between doing what's right and what's easy. But following orders just hasn't been allowed to be a fucking good excuse, because otherwise you just get shit like this forever.
Yeah. Yeah. This will happen time and time again. And it's another demonstration of why central planning is unquestionably wrong and immoral. And it doesn't work.
It doesn't.
It will never work. Because in that situation, what you need is your sergeant to go, right, lads, this is what we're doing. Like, literally 30 seconds. Right, lads, we're going in first, you second, you third. We're going to kill him, and then we're going to get out. That's what you need. Not central planning from the fucking detachment area commander, whatnot, who's like 30 chain levels of command above you.
Well, probably something that might be more entertaining and will not make us as angry. Possibly. Speak Up for Women controversy billboard removed. Major apologies. And here we fucking go. This'll be interesting. I want to see this billboard. Show it to me. Where is it? Where is this billboard? Show me. I demand to see it. Where... There it is. Adult human female. Yes. Yes.
Nice.
What was that?
Where have they plastered this?
I'll get back to it. Can you see it on the screen?
Yeah, I want to know where. Where is that?
Oh, right. Well, I guess I'll read it and we'll find out, won't we? Wait a minute. Was this one done before on the podcast? I think it might have been, actually. Let me just check.
Yeah, might be.
I can't remember for sure. If it's not, then we can just go on to the next thing. Because... Oh, hello. Have you sent another thing in? Yes, you have. I'll have to open that too, then. Huh. Give me a minute. I have to scroll up to find it. I think we may have gone over this. I'll read through it and we'll find out one way or another, but I'll have to read through just to check. But it's definitely something that's coming to my mind. Lower Hunt's mayor has apologised for saying that controversial groups Speak Up for Women... Yeah, we have done this. Could hold one of their events in a council waste bin. We definitely have done this. This is...
Yeah,
we definitely...
That's been done.
We've done this because essentially it was like the whole, wow, it's really based of him that he's saying that women can hold their rights group in a communal bin, and then it turns out that they're anti-trans, and it's like, oh, we'll have to come back round and say that the women are the ones that we need to support. Then I distinctly remember this now. Saudi authorities seize rainbow toys for fuck's sake.
Contradicting Islamic
For
faith
contradicting.
Thank you.
moral.
Contradicting Islamic
It's
faith.
haram.
Yeah, it is haram. I agree with this, definitely.
Definitely haram.
I think we should make it haram everywhere.
Agreed. Especially with, have you noticed that the alphabet people always seem to use nursery colours? Have you noticed?
Yeah. It's as if they're targeting kids.
It's almost like, we're coming for your It's like, you know that shit? It's almost like they're
Please
doing
don't.
that.
No.
Or that?
Almost
That's
for,
quite enough already.
almost as if for all those intellectual, big brain people from that country that I don't like, we're actually a bit extra French.
I mean, you can't be any more French than French, but
Apparently, I don't know how they managed.
It's sort of like there's being a psyker and then there's being a psyker. There's tiers to this, Vulcan. There's different levels of this. There's different levels of French. First level of French is that you hate France and you want to live somewhere else, like Barry. And then the highest level of French is that your significant other is underage. Because there's something just wrong with them French, I'm telling you. Something just wrong
there
with
is.
the French, how their philosophers are just there. It's like, we should lower the legal age. It's like, no, get out.
So did you know the French had a tradition where the married women would have side lovers? I forgot what they called them.
Oh no.
Hang on. So I have a poetry book by Byron. If I can find it, which I'm not entirely sure I will be able to. No, I don't know where it is. Sorry. Anyway, so there's a poetry book by Byron, and it essentially, one of the poems was essentially on this woman and her secret lover, and that's just their whole tradition. They just had these other husbands. They literally called them their other husbands,
Right.
the other men, and they would just have sex with them. It was like, these are married women openly having sex with other men. It's like, what?
Kills.
Complicates inheritance.
Yeah,
It definitely does. Hair clips, bows, poppets. What the fuck's a poppet? Hats, pencil cases, and more have been taken away from shops in the capital. Ratchet. I don't care. That's not what it says, but it is now because I fucking said so. Contradicting the Islamic faith and public morals, one official said. A report broadcast Tuesday evening, 14th of June, by the state-run AI Echelon News. They have that's an interesting name. Channel.
I think it's all Ekbari. Something like that.
It's the fact that it says state-run AI and then that word. That's the thing that gets me.
I know that.
Are you telling me Islam is run by a sentient AI?
there's Islam Skynet. That's how I'm going to interpret this, and it's beautiful in my mind. News claims the government are confiscating the products as part of a crackdown on LGBTQ+ whatever rights. And I agree entirely with it. Crack down on those rights harder.
Yeah, we should never have given them in the first place.
The thing is it's a case of the way that I picture this, right? Is this case of, like, there are people who I've met who are afraid of the backlash against LGBT people. No, the backlash needs to happen because then in the future, when they start like protesting to get rights again, and like having normal pride marches where they're just dressed as normal people, like, please let us come out of the closet again. It's like, yeah, sure, but this time, fucking remember, the next time there's any nonsense or anything, the crack is going to come down on you so fucking hard, and instantly. There is not good. So you have to kick these people out instantly as soon as they appear. There will be no mercy this time.
So,
That's how I pitch this.
Thing is,
so
they
you think about World War
the
II, right?
responsibility of being outside of the closet.
Yes. If you're outside the closet, that means that you have to act the way straight people do. Which then means that you can't just be there like, but I want to tell everyone that I'm gay. I don't fucking care. Fuck off.
I wouldn't even say it as that. They just have to act normally. Like, okay, you can suck dick whenever you fucking want. I don't give a shit. Just be normal. Don't swing your dick around in public. Just be normal. That's all you have to do. Just be normal. But now, they have to go out in their sweaty leather daddy pants.
It's disgusting. Oh god, Francesca's ringing me apparently. I'm just gonna like take a screenshot of the fucking thing going on in the fact that we're doing this, and that I like
She's ringing me as well, because I can hear it too.
it's coming through on. Hang on a minute. Can you still hear it?
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. Hang on a minute.
Oh, I can still hear it.
Just pick up whatever respect to your.
Just answer the damn phone.
Oh,
Down with
fuck's
it.
sake! I didn't think that. Hi, sweetie. I just got told off for not answering the phone fast enough. You okay? Huh? Am I in trouble? Did I do? What? Might have to end the podcast early, guys. Shit. Is something wrong? You okay? Oh, and my internet connection is now
I'm
dying.
going to go.
Wait, my internet connection is now dying on my iPad. Okay,
I
that's...
think that's a good time to end the podcast.
Well,
you
until my
sort
internet
yourself out,
connection
Mary.
works again, on the iPad, I'll just essentially just flash these memes as quickly as possible.
Sweet mother of God.
Yeah, and then effectively, it's just, if you want to know what the last two things were, you'll have to look in the Discord, unfortunately. And, because it's not going to be available there, but it's just Fox News study that birth control makes people more depressed, which is an interesting one. Later on, rejoin if you can, because I'm going to start broadcasting the series Invincible for shits and giggles, because it'll be fun. Oh, she's telling me to hold on. So yeah, she's going to be available in a second. So I'll just briefly explain this. And then there's also this one that Vulcan also posted as well. That you'll have
So that
to.
was I linked that in, so you had the findings of one of the studies that was linked in the.
Gotcha. So
previous article.
there's this that I saw that I thought would be like, this is pretty based. There's this meme that I mentioned earlier, and then there's just this, which is just over 2 minutes, which is basically just, I predict this is going to end fucking horribly. Oh shit.
Nice. You have a nice day, Harry. I'll shut you off.
Yep.
An evil is coming that threatens our kingdom, our freedom. But we have a weapon. They are not prepared for.
That they were.
My king, the Europeans wish to conquer us. They will not stop until the whole of Africa is theirs. We must fight back.
This fucking movie is apparently based on real events, only they'll leave out the part that the Africans were the ones who wanted to fight to keep slaves. They'll leave that out perfectly. That's my prediction right there.
Are worth fighting for.
Also leave out the fact that they just got massacred.
Oh, they'll leave that out. Like, the thing is, I'm not against a movie being about people who will die fighting. Like, I love The Last Samurai. Because, here's the thing, they make it sound like maybe the samurai could win, maybe, but they also show that they fucking lose horribly in the end. They're honest about
fear
it.
no pain. I offer you a choice. Fight or we die.
I'm gonna be honest, some of these people, I just have the mindset I could literally rip them apart with my bare hands type mindset. And in real life, that's literally what fucking happened as well. Like, the French only lost 6 soldiers, if I remember correctly.
We are the spear of victory! We are the blade of freedom!
No, you're fucking the blade of freedom.
We are the Homer!
The blade of freedom. Fuck off.
I think the thing that annoys me to no end is that this thing is currently set in that African country from the perspective of the African country, yet nobody speaks the language without a thick accent. Think about it.
I own the blade of freedom, so I must fight to keep the slaves.
With a thick accent, and not the locals.
Apparently, Francesca's internet's being weird, which is why I didn't go right away. But oh my god, we're fighting for slaves, which is why we're the blade of freedom. It's like fuck
I agree, but we used to make that thing very cogently. You're Japanese. You're supposed to be speaking English.
When her internet starts working, I need to stop laughing before I talk to her, because oh my god, I'm gonna sound like I'm not taking her stuff seriously. Oh my god, that's brilliant. That's hilarious with the blades of freedom. Fuck right off. I hope that they're honest in this film and it just shows them getting fucking massacred with only 6 French soldiers dying, just using not even using guns, just winning that way.